Welcome to another Tub Pilates video. Today we're going to be doing an advanced flow, and the only prop you're going to need is your black box. So make sure to have that nearby, and let's get started. We're going to set our springs on 1 medium, 2 heavy, and then go ahead and lie down. We're going to start with the arches of our feet, hip distance parallel on the foot bar. Arms are down by your side. Let's take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Feel the rib cage fill up and expand, and then exhale, squeeze it all out, belly button to spine. On your next exhale, you're going to press off of the foot bar. Inhale to drag it back in. Stay on the arches of your feet, but curl your toes over the front of the bar like you're a bird standing on a branch to get that nice stretch down the top of your foot. Make sure when you're pressing out, you're activating all those little leg muscles, giving everything a good squeeze. Keep that tailbone nice and heavy. Keep your lower back nice and neutral. Send the carriage all the way out. We're going to come in halfway, tiny pulses, up an inch, down an inch. It's a little press and a pull. Please excuse me while I make sure my timer is going. Press it all the way out. Pull it all the way in. We're going to slide up to our heels, flex your toes back towards your nose, press off on your exhale. You should be feeling a nice stretch down the back of your calf. Still giving everything a good squeeze when you press it out. We're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the carriage all the way in. Take your heels to the corners so you're in a wide Pilates V. So we're slightly turned out. We've got nice strong knees like we're holding a beach ball in between them. So don't let them just collapse like that. Keep them nice and strong so your knees are tracking with your feet. Keep up with your breathing. Exhale on the way out. Inhale to come back in. We're going to press the carriage all the way out and pause. Come in halfway and pause. Butterfly those knees so you're pivoting on that heel, getting a little movement into the hip joints for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it all the way out. Pull it all the way in. We're going to swap to our toes. Stay wide. Stay in those corners. We're still externally rotated. Press off on your exhale. Inhale to pull it back in. There should be a little lift in your heels, but you don't want to lock out your ankles, so we're not caving our feet forward. We just have a little lift like we're wearing little baby heels. Press the carriage all the way out. Bend your knees to come halfway in and pause. We're going to go tiny pulses, up an inch, down an inch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it all the way out, and we're going to prance. So prancing is kind of like you're running. You're just kind of rolling back and forth on the balls of your feet to get that nice little stretch down the back of your calf and your tendon. Press up onto both your toes, bend your knees, come all the way in. Take your toes to the center. We're back to hip distance parallel, so that's about a grapefruit in between those feet. Press off on your exhale. Inhale to pull it back in. Same deal here. Don't lock out those ankles, just a little lift in the heels. We're going to press the carriage all the way out and pause. Going into calf raises, drop both heels under and then press up onto your toes. The slower the better, but the slower the harder. So do with that what you will. Try to resist the urge to bounce when you drop under. Press up onto your toes and pause. Bend your knees, come halfway in, lower and lift your heels here. See if you can do it without moving the carriage for 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it all the way out and prance. That prance should feel great. Your calves should be burning after that, so this should feel really nice. Press up onto your toes, bend your knees, come all the way in. We're gonna go for a quick round of bridging. So go ahead and take your feet. We're gonna go Pilates V with our feet. So heels together, toes apart. We're gonna go toes on the foot bar, but if that's a bit much today, you can take it down to the arches. Arms are down by your side. Take a big breath in to prepare, and on your exhale, you're gonna tuck your pelvis, roll it up into your bridge. Take an inhale at the top, exhale to melt back down 1 vertebrae at a time. You're articulating all the way down, tailbone's the last thing to hit. So inhale at the bottom, exhale, roll it up. Inhale at the top, exhale, melt it back down. 1 vertebrae at a time. Here we go, one more time. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, roll it up and hold. Let's go tiny pulses with our glutes for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it up and hold. We're gonna butterfly the knees for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause, hold it there. Send the carriage all the way out. Roll it all the way down. Tailbone hits, bend your knees, come all the way in. This is our semicircle prep now. So we roll it up. Send it out. Roll it down. Bring it in one more time. Roll it up. Send it out. Roll it down. Bring it in. And now we go reverse. Press off with a flat back. Roll it up. Bend your knees. Come up into that high bridge. Roll it all the way down. 2 more. Send it out. Lift those hips. Pull it in, roll it down. This is our last one. Send it out, roll it up, lift the hips, roll it down. Good. Take your feet to parallel, so just unhook those heels. Press the carriage out, drop the heels under. We're gonna take our arms up to the ceiling. Everyone take a big breath in, and on your exhale, roll all the way up to seated. Your butt's gonna slide a little bit. Bring the carriage in and set your springs for your arms. So 1 light, 1 medium, or 2 medium. And then we're gonna go ahead and lay back down. You can go ahead and pull up your pants because I'm sure they rolled down when you sat up. All right, quick round of single leg footwork, then we'll get to our arms. We're gonna go toes on the foot bar. Left leg is gonna come into a tabletop. We're gonna start with a little bicycle pedal. So press it out, leg goes into tabletop, bring it in, leg shoots over the foot bar. Point those toes, make it intentional. And now let's switch to an alternating. So we shot 1 over, we're gonna shoot 1 under. Over, under. Pay attention to that right foot. Make sure you're not locking out that ankle. Press the carriage out and pause. That leg is in tabletop. Reach it up to the ceiling. We're gonna go windshield wipers. So the leg's gonna come across your body and then take it out to the side. Squeeze your inner thighs to pull that leg back up. Take it out to the side. Pay attention to your hips here. You can even pop your hands onto your hip bones. You don't want this opposite hip, this right hip, to be lifting. So when you take your leg out, if you're getting this lift, you're going too far. So your range of motion is as far as you can go without that lifting. Pause. Next time you're across your body, we're gonna circle the leg down, sweep it out and around. 2, 3, reverse your direction. Pay attention to your hips here as well. We don't want them rocking and rolling. 2, last one, 3. Lower that foot down, bend your knees, come all the way in. You can give your ankles a little shake, knees a little sway. Before we switch sides, we're gonna get a quick round of single leg bridging. So that same foot is on the foot bar. I'm gonna take it down to my arch for single leg since we're on a lighter spring, but you are welcome to stay on your toes for the ultimate challenge. Everyone take a big breath in. On your exhale, roll it up into your bridge and hold it there. Reach that left leg up to the ceiling. We're gonna go tiny pulses like you're poking a hole in the ceiling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold those hips up. Send the carriage in and out 3 times. 2, 3. Hit those stoppers. Take a big breath in. Roll it down on the exhale. Good. Give those knees a little sway. And now we switch to the other side. So left toes onto that foot bar, right leg in tabletop. We start with that bicycle pedal. Nice pointed toe. Check in on that left heel. Make sure it's not dropping too low. Make sure you're not locking out that ankle. And now we switch to our alternating. 1 over, one under. Check in on your hips. Make sure you're even on your hips. Sometimes we can rock and roll when we're just doing the single leg. Press the carriage out and pause. Straighten that right leg to the ceiling. We start with those windshield wipers. Take it across your body. And then out to the side, squeezing your inner thighs to pull it back in. Little gizmo appearance. Pay attention to your hips. Make sure that opposite hip is not lifting. That left hip stays grounded. Next time you take that leg across your body, pause 3 leg circles. 1. Pay attention to those hips. 2, 3. And now we reverse. 1, 2, 3. Lower that foot down. Bend your knees to come in. And then we go for that single leg bridging. I'm going to slide up to my arch, but you can stay on your toes if you want. Leg is in tabletop. Take a big breath in on your exhale. Roll it up. Straighten that leg up to the ceiling. We're going to go tiny pulses for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. Send the carriage in and out 3 times. 1, 2. Don't let those hips drop all the way down. 3. Big breath in. Roll it down on the exhale. And give your knees a good little sway side to side. All right, time for our arms. Adjust your pants. Reach up for your straps. We're gonna grab on at the short loops. The long loops will just hang. Scooch down so you're not too crunched up on those shoulder rests. We're gonna take our arms down by our side, take our legs into tabletop. We're gonna start with a lower and lift, but we're gonna add in a crunch and a leg extension to really click on those abs. If this is a bit much for you today, you can stay with just the crunch. You can drop that leg extension, or you can just stay in a regular lower and lift. Whatever works for you today. When your arms float up to the ceiling, you wanna make sure they're not going past your shoulders. So pause when they're in line with your shoulders. Let's get one more. Float your arms up, pause. Now we add a rotation. So if you're doing that leg extension and the crunch, you're gonna shoot the legs out. Use that exhale to help you. If you're not doing the leg extension, you'll just open your legs. And you can do this without the crunch, but it is a bit harder. You're not gonna get the same benefit. So if you can, you chose an advanced video, add in that crunch. Let's get one more on each side. Float your arms up and pause. Reach your legs up to the ceiling and pause. We're gonna windshield wiper the arms without moving the carriage. And we're gonna add in matching legs. If you want a little bit more abs, you just lower those legs out to a diagonal. Make your lever a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1, open out and pause. We're gonna squeeze our arms down by our side, and we're gonna go into our T press now. You are welcome to add in your crunch up and your leg extension here. When you're squeezing, imagine you're squeezing your sides like you're trying to pop balloons under your arms. Let's get 2 more. Last one. Lower your head down, legs come into tabletop. We're gonna start with just a tricep press. Those biceps are hovering off the carriage just an inch or so, but they're tight to your rib cage. Next time your arms are bent, pause. Finishing up with coordination. At the same time, there's a lot of steps to coordination. You're gonna straighten your arms, crunch up, and shoot your legs out. Pause there. Open and close your legs 1 time. Take them into tabletop. Bend your arms, lower your head. So we go everything up. Open, close. Tabletop, down. Let's go 2 more. Everything up. Open, close. Tabletop, down. Last one. Everything up. Open, close. Tabletop, down. And find the foot bar. Hang up your long loops. All right, and when you're ready, we're gonna sit up. And we're gonna swap our springs to 1 light spring or 1 kind of medium spring. If you have a button on your reformer, maybe a light spring on a button would be a good move, but you can kind of play around with it. We're gonna go for a squat series. So everyone grab your long box. We're gonna go on the floor right next to the reformer. And mine is kind of tucked in. If yours does that, great. If not, that's fine. Come to standing on your box, and then we're gonna come to kind of a proposal kneel. So you're gonna have 1 foot down on the box, the other knee is down on the carriage. If this is bugging your knees, you could take a towel or a knee pad or something and slide it under your knee. We won't be here for that long. I'm just gonna scooch my box up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is kind of a squat series. So we're gonna start hands on our hip. You're just extending and bending the leg on the box. The other leg is just along for the ride. The carriage is along for the ride. If you wanted, you can add in arms, make it more of a balance challenge. If you had hand weights, you could also do it with hand weights. Let's get 2 more. Last one. Now we switch our attention to the leg on the carriage. We're just gonna hinge out and then tuck it back in. Hinge it out, tuck it back in. This knee on the box should be staying more or less stable. So that leg is not doing much here. Let's get 1 more. Bring it back in. All right, now check your balance. We're gonna stand it up. We're gonna lunge it down, press it out, pull it in, stand it up. So kind of a combo move. So we lower down, press it out, pull it in, stand it up. Let's get 2 more. Drop the knee, press it out, pull it in, stand it up. Last one, drop the knee, press it out, pull it in, stand it up, and pause. Going into a regular lunge now. Hands can stay on your hips, or I like little prayer hands when I lunge. The foot on the carriage is along for the ride. The foot on the box is the leg in control. So we're just bending that knee, sending the carriage out. Don't forget to breathe. It's hard to remember to breathe when you're also talking, but luckily you guys are probably not talking right now. All right, let's lunge it out and pause. We're gonna keep the bend in that front leg and we're gonna skate that back leg in and out. You can bring a hand down to the foot bar if you need to for balance. Otherwise, keep those hands up for a 4, 3, 2, press it out, pause, and pull it all the way in. Shake those legs out. We're not quite done with our lunge series yet. I'm getting tired, so I'm sure you guys are getting tired. All right, Come back to that position. We've got a foot on the shoulder rest. We've got a foot on the box. This is more like a deadlift kind of simulation. So rather than bending your knees, you're hinging at the front and then standing back up. You can kind of think of it as you're picking up a box, putting that box onto the shelf. Picking up a box, put it onto the shelf. Let's get 2 more. Last one. Pick it up. Good. All right. Now step it off. Shake it out. We're going to take the box onto the reformer, short box style. We're going to do a round of planking. So you're going to come to sitting on top of the box, facing the foot bar. For your springs, you have a couple of options. You can stay on this same light spring we've been using. If you want to take it up to a medium spring, you can. It'll be a little bit more support for your plank, but it'll be heavier on your arms. If you have a super light spring, you could drop it down to that to make it more challenging for your abs because you lose that support. If you have a button, a light spring on a button is kind of a happy medium. I'm going to stay on one light spring because I don't have a super light spring. We're going to take our balls of our feet down on the carriage. Heels are pressed up against the box. Hands are going to come onto the foot bar, and we're going to shoot the carriage out to hold our plank. So bring it down, send the carriage out, hold it there. So ideally for a plank, your shoulders are directly above your wrists. So you don't want to be hinged out like this. You want to stay nice and lined like that. You want a nice long line from the top of your head to your tailbone. So we don't want to collapse down. We don't want to shoot the butt up. Nice flat back. If you can, long neck, kind of looking forward past the edge of that reformer. Don't forget to breathe. Often we forget to breathe during our planks. Your abs are working to help keep you lifted. Your glutes are working to help keep you lifted. Long neck. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the carriage in. You're going to bring it all the way in so it hits those stoppers. You're bouncing up on your toes. Sit back. Lift your arms up. You're in your little hover. And we're going to pulse for 4, 3, 2, 1. And sit down. All right, so round 1, we're going to do 2 more rounds. This next round, we're going to go for a combo move. So we're going to alternate between a knee tuck and a long stretch. So when you're ready, hands come to the foot bar, shoot the carriage out. So we're in our nice strong plank. 1 knee tuck, bend and extend those knees. 1 long stretch. That strong straight arms, you push the foot bar away and then tuck back on top. So we got a knee tuck. Long stretch. You're hinging out from your shoulders for that long stretch. Everything else is staying still. It should kind of feel like the ab rollers, if you guys have ever done one of those. And let's get 1 more of each. Knee tuck. Long stretch. Now we knee tuck. Bring that carriage to the stoppers. Sit back. Arms up. Hover and pulse for 3, 2, 1. Sit it all the way down. Whew. All right. 1 last round of planks here. This time we're going to go pikes. The most fun. Save it for last. Heels are pressed right up on that box. Toes are down. Hands come to the edges of that foot bar. Shoot the carriage out. You're in your plank. And then you send that butt up like someone is grabbing onto your hips and lifting you from your hips. When you sink back down to your plank, you want to make sure you're not over-correcting. Sometimes we tend to drop too low. Make sure you're still stopping at that nice strong plank. Don't forget to breathe. When you tuck your feet down, you can look back at your thighs, but then go back to that long neck when you send it out to your plank. Let's get 2 more. Last one. Send those hips up, bring the carriage all the way into the stoppers. Last hover, sit back, arms up and pulse for 3, 2, 1. Sit it all the way down. All right. There we go. If you swapped your springs for that round of planks, make sure you swap it back to whatever you did for your little squats and lunges on the other side. So I'm on one light spring, just as a reminder, but a light spring on a button would also work too. We're gonna tuck that box under the reformer and kind of push it up so it's closer to the foot bar. And we start in that kneel, kind of a proposal kneel. Foot on the box, knee down on the carriage, foot against the shoulder rest. Our first move is just an extend and bend of that knee on the box. Hands can come to your hips. You can add in fancy arms. You could even grab weights if you wanted to here. All of the focus is on that leg on the box. The other leg is just along for the ride. The foot on the box is the one in control. Let's get 2 more. Last one. Pull it in, pause. We're gonna switch now. Now we're focusing on the leg on the carriage. We're lunging it out and tucking it back in. So really you wanna think about just sinking down and pulling back up. It's kind of like that knee that's down on the carriage is pushing it away. You're dropping down, pulling it up. Two more. Last one. We bring it in. Now we go for that full lunge. So we're gonna stand it up, find your balance, drop the knee, press it out, pull it in, stand it up. Drop the knee, press it out, pull it in, stand it up. Let's make it a little more fluid now so it feels more like one move. Let's get 2 more. Last one. We stand it up and pause. Here we're gonna go for full lunges now. Your hands can stay on your hips. You can add in some arms. I like prayer hands when I lunge. Helps me stay lined up a little bit better. So we are bending and extending the knee on the box. The other leg is along for the ride. But the focus should be on that foot on the box. 2 more. Last one, press it out and pause. We're gonna skate that back leg in and out. That front leg is bent. You can bring a hand down to the foot bar if you need to for balance. For 3, 2, 1. Stand it all the way up. Take a little pause. Shake out that leg because I know that glute is burning. Adjust your pants if you need to. And then here we go. We finish up with that deadlift kind of move. Foot comes back to the shoulder rest. So now we hinge from the waist. It's like you're picking up a box and putting it up on the shelf. Good for 4, 3, 2, and last one. Step it off. All right, then come off your box. For sure, now you want to drop down to a light spring. So if you're on that button, just take it down to the regular spring. And then push your box so it's in line with your shoulder rest now. So we're just sliding it back. We're gonna come down onto the box. One hand on the shoulder rest, one hand on the corner of the box. We're gonna lay down on top of the box. My chest is just at the edge of the box or hanging off the edge. We're gonna start with just some arm presses so we can get a feel for that weight. If it feels really super duper heavy, drop it down to a lighter spring if you can. We're not gonna be here that long though. All right, so we've got our arm presses. Press the carriage out and pause. Squeeze your butt, point your toes to activate those legs. We're gonna go into our swan. We're gonna start with that hand on the corner of the box still, very light grip. We're gonna let the carriage come in and lift up into our swan. Long neck, open collarbones. Sink it back down. 2 arm presses. Pause here. Make sure those toes are active. Lift up into your swan. Squeeze the butt. Lower it down. Now to make it more challenging, you take that hand to your forehead. So it leaves the box. We lift it up, lower it down. Let's get one more. Lift it up, lower it down. Bring the carriage all the way home, and you can sit back for a second. Take a little child's pose here to catch your breath. That's a tough one. All right, now we take the box back onto the reformer. Short box. And then we'll get the swan on the other side. So we're gonna do a round of short box abs here. Please excuse this birthday balloon. We're gonna do a round of short box abs. So if you are really tall or lots of legs, or depending on the length of your foot strap, you're gonna need to gear out here. So we're looking for this black guy down here. You're gonna slide your foot under it. If you do not have a foot strap, you can do this with your foot just hooked under the foot bar. If you're gonna do it under the foot bar, I would recommend dropping your foot bar down to the lowest rung so that it's a little more at the height that the foot strap would be. My foot strap is fairly long, so I'm gonna gear out because if you can see, when I flex my foot back, it does not leave that platform, and we wanna have a little bit of lift there. So I'm just gonna gear out one. That way I've got a little bit more room to work with. You're gonna start sitting on top of the box facing the side. You've got one leg hooked in, that other leg is reaching out. You wanna make sure your hip and your butt is fully on that box. If you are right at the edge, when we lean over, you're gonna topple. So make sure your butt and your thigh are fully grounded on top of that box. And we're gonna go for our side bends. Hands behind your head to start. Lean out, you're gonna feel pressure on that strap. Make sure you're flexing that foot. And we're gonna dip down and then pull it back up. Dip and pull. When you're dipping, you wanna be hinging from the waist, like there's a barrel or a pole you're bending over. So don't just collapse down. Really think about lengthening and reaching over. Let's get 2 more. The last one, and pull it all the way up. Also, I didn't say this, but if your reformer is really sliding around, you're getting a lot of wiggle, a lot of movement, just throw on 1 or 2 heavy springs and it'll hold it in place. All right, one more round on this side. We're gonna add in a rotation now. So we'll dip, twist, unwind, come back up. So here we go. Hook that foot. Make sure you're on the box, hand behind your head. We dip, twist, unwind, back up. Dip, twist, unwind, back up. Now, if you want to make this a little more challenging, you're going to dip, twist, airplane arms, back in, back up. So here we go with that. Dip, twist, airplane, unwind, back up. Dip, twist, airplane, unwind, back up. Let's get one more. You dip, twist, airplane, back up. All right, now we hit the other side. So you're just gonna switch your feet, turn around the other way. Same rules apply. Make sure you're fully on that box. Butt is fully supported. Foot is under that strap. You're gonna flex back. We start with just those regular side bends. You should feel that tension on the strap. You can see how my foot has left the platform. Dip and back up. Use that breath. Inhale down. Exhale up. Remember that barrel. You want to be reaching over rather than collapsing. For 3, 2. Last one. Pull it all the way up. Whew. All right, and then we've got one more round where we add in that rotation. Option to put in airplane arms if you'd like. All right, here we go. Mentally prepare yourself. Hands behind your head. Here we go. We're gonna dip, twist, unwind, back up, dip, twist, unwind, back up. Option to add in your airplane arms. Make that lever a little bigger, a little more work. Let's get one more. Twist, back up. Whew. All right, unhook from that strap. If you geared out, take it back in. And if you threw on a heavy spring to hold it in place, take that off. We want to be back to our light spring because we got to get our swan and arm presses on the other side. So we're going to take that box down to the ground. Long box next to the reformer. Edge of the box lined up with the shoulder rest. We're going to come down onto our stomach. One hand on the corner of the box. Other hand on the shoulder rest, chest right at the edge of that box. Toes are pointed, butt is active. We're going to start off with just arm presses. Get a feel for that spring load. Long neck here, don't collapse down. Press it out and pause. We're going to go into our swan. So we keep our arms straight. We let the carriage help lift us into our swan. Lower it down. 2 arm presses. Lift up into our swan. Lower it down. 2 arm presses. Now, if you want, you can add in. Take that hand to the forehead. A little bit more challenging. And let's get one more. Lift it up into that swan. Lower it down. Relax those arms. Sink back. Take your little child's pose if you want. All right, here we go. We are done with the box now, so you can go ahead and just get that out of the way. Come back over to your reformer. We're gonna do some single arm work. I'm gonna stay on one light spring. You may wanna take it up to a light spring on a button or a medium spring. It'll be up to you, but I'm gonna stay on one light spring. Pretty much I've done this entire class on one light spring, except for our footwork at the beginning. All right, here we go. Grab your loop, your short loop, and we're gonna come up to our high kneel. Now, if you've never done a high kneel before, you're welcome to stay in a low kneel, or you can just scoot yourself so you're right next to that shoulder rest. It'll give you a little more support while we're up here. We're gonna start with the hardest move. That way you'll be able to tell if you need to swap your springs. You're gonna take your one hand down by your thigh. Your other hand is facing your ear. We start shave the ear. You're reaching that arm straight up. Pick a point on the wall to stare at that's dead ahead so that you keep a nice alignment. All right, now we add our lateral flexion. Keep staring at that point at the wall, because what you don't want to do is stare at the ground, because if you stare at the ground, you're going to rotate. So you want to be looking out. This is lateral flexion, like we're in between 2 panes of glass. And that other hand is just sliding down your thigh. One more. Pause. You can take that hand to your hip now. We're gonna lift the elbow, palm is down. We're going for a little punch move. So you're reaching across, tuck it back in. Reach it across, tuck it back in. You're rotating with it, so follow that hand with your face. Let's get 2 more. Last one. All right, cool. You can keep holding on to this strap. We're just gonna turn to face the aisle, or the foot bar rather. Okay. Switch to the long loop here. Gives us a little more room to work with. If you want to do it on the short loop, you can. I'd recommend switching to the long. We're going to do a series of single arm work facing the foot bar. So we're going to start arms tucked in, palms are up. We're in a low kneel. We're going to go serve a tray and then tuck it back down. Now you can stay in this low kneel or you can take it up to your high kneel. Going to be a little bit more core work, more stabilizing work. Or to add in some more glute work, you can lower and raise with the move. One more. Good. All right, so those leg options exist for all of these moves. Low kneel, high kneel, or move with the arm movement. Next up, presentation. Arms are down, palms are facing forward. We sweep the arms up and then lower the arms down. Sweep it up. Whew. Lower them down. This one's heavy. Let's get two more. Last one, we're going to sweep it forward. Hold it there. Arms come into the center. I'm going to lower down for this one. Ooh. We're going to go hug a tree. So we've got a gentle bend in our arms. We open, close. Open, close. Use your breath to help you. Inhale, exhale. One more because I know it's heavy. Inhale, exhale. Good. Lower that strap down. Ooh, shake out that arm. All right, here we go. Let's get the other side. We're going to turn to the side. Grab onto your short loop. We're in our high kneel here. Hand to your thigh. We start with shave the ear. Use that breath. It's like when you exhale, it's helping you push. All right, here we go for our lateral flexion. We lean to the side. Remember, keep your eyes looking forward so you don't rotate down. You feel that hand slide down your thigh. Restack. Two more. Last one. Now we lift the elbow, palm goes down, hand goes to the hip. We go for that punch. Reach it out. Tuck it back in. And this has a rotation with it, so follow your hand with your face so that you twist with it. Two more. Last one. Good. All right, we're going to swap it to the long loop. We're going to twist back to front. And we get the single arm work on this side. So remember, we can stay. We're starting with serve a tray. You can stay in that low kneel. You can take it up to a high kneel. Or you can lower and raise with it. Ooh, I don't know about y'all. I'm getting tired. All right, one more. Lower it down. Cool. Next up is presentation. So that's straight arms, reach for the ground. Palms are turned out. We're going to sweep the arms forward. Lower it back down. Sweep them forward. Lower it back down. Sweep. Let's get two more. Last one. Sweep it out and pause. We make a circle with our arms. This is for our hug a tree. We're keeping that bend in our elbows. Opening out from our shoulders. Let's get one more. Lower it down. Don't lose that strap just yet. Now one move with both the hands. Reach back for those straps. We're going to flip our arms up. The straps are going to go over our shoulders. Make a diamond with your hands. That diamond is going to come to your forehead. This is our tricep work. So you can take it to the top of your head for your salute. You could even take it behind your head for your shave the head. And you are welcome to come up into your high kneel to finish up. For 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Hang up those long loops. And now we legs and straps. So set your springs to whatever you like. I recommend 2 medium springs. If you want to go a little bit lighter, 1 light, 1 medium. You want to go a little bit heavier, 1 medium, 1 heavy. I would not recommend doing more than 2 springs. That way we can really focus on the movement and not so much whipping weight around. But if you want to go heavy, that is your call. I'm going 1 medium, 1 heavy. Go ahead and lay down. Reach up for those long loops. Slide them onto your feet. And we're going to start with our feet a couple of inches apart, maybe about hip distance or so. And you're going to work on holding that distance even as we lower and lift our legs. Point your toes to lift, flex your feet to lower. When you lift, keep that tailbone nice and heavy, so don't let the hips lift up. You can put your hands on your hips so you can feel if you're starting to lift. And when you drop it down, you don't want to go below that foot bar because we don't want that lower back to click on. We want to keep it in our legs and our glutes. So we're looking for a nice heavy tailbone, nice neutral spine. Don't forget your breath work. I know this is kind of our cool down and we tend to forget, but the breath work ties it all together. Lower out to about 45 degrees and pause. We're still holding that space, hip distance. We're parallel. We're going to go bend and stretch. I like to flex my feet as I bend, point my toes as I stretch. Bend and stretch. So our knees are coming into our chest, but you don't want the tailbone to lift, so we're not rolling up. So keep that tailbone nice and heavy. Bend, stretch. Don't forget the breath. Next time you bend it in, pause when you're at a tabletop. So we're not going full into the chest. We're going tabletop. We still have that space in between. We're still parallel. We're just going to open our legs, close our legs. Kind of like we're opening and closing a book. So the movement is coming from your hips. Your feet are separating. Your knees are separating. Open, close. The carriage should not be moving. So see if you can do it without the carriage moving. Nice and still. Open your legs out and pause. Press your legs out to straight. Bend your knees to bring it back in. So this is like a frog, but in a wide Pilates V. So heels are separated. Don't forget your breath. Try and press out to the exact same spot every time. Last one. Press it out. Zip it together. We're in Pilates V. Open and close. Adduct to abduct. Point your toes to open. Flex your feet to close. And make sure you're hitting each position. I think we tend to really whip through legs and straps, but we want to make sure we're sticking each position, really activating those muscles, giving everything a good squeeze when you zip it all together. I'm keeping a smaller range of motion here because I'm looking for more strengthening in today's workout. If you're looking for more of a stretch, you're welcome to go bigger. Let's get one more. Zip it up, pause. We'll go regular frog. And same deal here. Really think about sticking that move. When you press it out, give everything a good squeeze before you bend your knees to bring it back in. We want to really think about activating those inner thighs. And don't forget your breath. 2 more. Last one. We'll finish up with leg circles. Float your legs up to the ceiling. Split them out to the sides. Circle it down and around. Feet meet in the middle. Float them up. Circle out, down, and around. While you're doing your circles, remember heavy tailbone, neutral spine. We don't want the butt to lift. Same as with the adduct abduct. If you're looking for a stretch, you'll go bigger. If you're looking for strengthening, you'll stay smaller. If you're someone who's hypermobile, really flexy, your knees are loosey-goosey, you'll want to stay smaller to start till you build up that strength and support. Even though just because you can go big doesn't mean you should go big. Reverse your direction. Remember, those feet meet and go down the middle together. Don't forget your breath. We're almost done. For 3, 2, last one. Feet meet at the top. Reach up, grab onto your ropes, pull back to get a stretch down the back of your legs. Flex back on those feet. You can put a little bend in your knees to drive that stretch down. Straighten your legs back up to the ceiling. Take your right foot and cross your right ankle in front of your left thigh. You can keep hanging on to that strap, and then you can float that leg up to hit that figure 4 stretch, or you can bend that left knee and that'll push you into that stretch too. You should be feeling that in your glute and your hip. Should feel nice after the lunges. Press it back out. We'll swap to the other side. Float that leg up or bend the knee. Press into it. Press it out. We're going to take both legs up to the ceiling and then split them out for your straddle stretch or your split stretch. You can tick-tock side to side here if you like that. Bend your knees towards your shoulders for your happy baby. We're still holding on to those straps. You can also tick-tock here. Soles of your feet come together for your butterfly. Grab onto those handles and just give it a good pull. If you can reach your elbows to your knees, you can use your elbows to press your knees away. But it'll depend on how flexible you are. Not some of us don't need to do that. And then lower your feet. Keep the soles of them together. Just lower them down for your suspended butterfly. Those straps are going to hang down the front of your body. You can just relax your arms. And we'll take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Settle down. Start the lesson finish the lesson like we started it. One last big breath in. Exhale. And let's come on out of those loops. Find the foot bar, hang them up on the pegs. Sit up on the side of your reformer. We'll do our final breath here together. Big breath in, arms come up. Exhale, fold forward, reach for the floor. Let everything go long and heavy. You can get a little shake, a little sway. Take a big breath in. Roll up on the exhale. Arms circle around. Inhale. Exhale, bring them down. All done. Thanks so much for watching today. That was an advanced flow from Tub Pilates. If you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, share the video, check out our other series, and have a great day.